Hello everyone, and welcome to my classic mage guide. In this guide, I'm going to talk about the AoE spots that I use from level 14 and all the way up to 60, some useful spells as a mage, the talent trees that I use from 10 to 60, and also some useful tips and tricks when you AoE farm. You get your first AoE spell when you're level 14. This is Arcane Explosion. At level 16, you also unlock Flame Strike. You can combine these two and do some decent AoE at level 16. But before you can start AoEing, you also need some gear. Usually I go for items called the Eagle. Eagle items increase my stamina and intellect, and you need a decent amount of stamina to be able to survive when you go in and pull all the enemies. The intellect you need to have a high mana pool so you can do all the spells you need in order to kill the targets. The talent tree that I use at level 16 looks like this. There's a few ways we can do this. You can pull with your wand, and then you run in, stack them, do arcane explosions, a frost nova into a flame strike, and then you do a lot of arcane explosions till the target is dead. To make a successful pull, you should try to stack all of them on top of each other to make sure the flame strike hit all the targets. Another way to pull could be by using your flame strike on pull. Then you should try to run in to the flame strike AoE damage to keep the AoE damage from the flame strike. But you could also just do a few arcane explosions, a frost nova into a new flame strike, and then you do arcane explosions till the target is dead. If you're wondering about the location, then it's at these marks in Westfall, and I do this all the way up to level 18. As Horde, I would recommend you to go to the Barrens, and up here at the top left, you'll find a lot of harpies. These are fairly easy to kill, and you can do this area from 16 and all the way up to 20. When you're level 18 as Alliance, then you can hit a bit south in Westfall, and here you'll find some other gnoll camps. This I usually do from level 18 and all the way up to 22. Once you hit level 20 as Horde, then you could head to Hillsbrad. Here you can find a lot of monsters that you can easily stack together. If you struggled to AoE farm prior to level 22, then I recommend you to try and do this as double mage. As double mage, everything is a lot easier, and you also avoid dying as often. It's even possible to start AoE farming when you hit level 14 and unlock Arcane Explosion. By this point, you're also level 22, and now you need to respec 3 points into elemental position to increase your chance of hitting the targets, 2 points into frost warding for more armor. In the second line, you don't spend any points into ice shards, and frostbite is going to be a no-go no matter what level you are. This you never pick because you can make the monsters be stacked at different locations. Instead, spend 2 points into improved frost nova for faster stacking of the monsters, 3 points into permafrost for increased chill duration, but also the slow effect. Last but not least, 3 points into improved blizzard, so whenever your blizzard hit a target, they will be slowed by 75%. And this is how you should spend your talent points all the way up to level 30. Next up is going to be how I AoE farm from level 22. And after that, I'll show you all the spots that I use from level 22 to 60 as Alliance and Horde. Here's a problem you might encounter quite often. One of the monsters is patrolling. I need to sheep this target so I can get further in to the rest of the pack. This target is also going to be where I need to stack all the monsters to get a good frost nova. Now I can pull with a fireball and a wand on this target, and this way I pull as many as possible. With a strategy like this, you also take a minimal amount of damage. All you need to do now is to get some distance and use Blizzard. Keep using Blizzard till your frost nova is ready. Now you can get a bit closer to the enemies and freeze them, and then you just repeat with Blizzard. The zone that I use as Alliance is Wetlands. I go here from 22 and all the way up to 25 or 26. If there's a lot of competition, then you could always go to Redridge at level 22. This zone you can easily do from level 22 and all the way up to 27. As a level 22 Horde, you go to the Hillsbrad fields in Hillsbrad. Here you can easily stay all the way up to 26 or 27. In Duskwood you will find this location with a lot of different skeletons. This area you can do as Alliance from 23 and all the way up to 27. At level 26 you will also get a new spell. This is called Cone of Cold. It's an instant ability that do damage and slow the targets by 60%. Cone of Cold will slow for 11 seconds, and this is more than the cooldown of the spell. So you could just run around and kite and use Cone of Cold and kill the targets. Once you're level 26 as a horde, then you can leave the Hillsbrad fields and move a bit south. Down here you'll find a mine where you can level from 26 and all the way up to 30. Here's another spot for Alliance. You can go to this location at 27 and leave at around level 31. If the first option is already taken, then you could also head to the west, and here you can also level all the way up to 31. By the time that you hit level 30, you can also go to a talent tree and pick Ice Block. When you use this spell, then you cannot attack or be attacked for the next 10 seconds. This is a great way to stack monsters and then do a Frost Nova. Now that you're also level 30, then I will show you the talent tree from 31 and all the way up to 40. As a level 30 horde, I recommend you to go to this farm in Arathi Highlands. Here you can easily pull between 10 to 15 monsters at the same time. As Alliance, you just stick to Duskwood, and at this location you can stay from 28 and all the way up to 33. If the Alliance and horde spot is already taken, then you could always head to Hillsbrad foothills. Here you can kill Yetis from level 29 and all the way up to 33. Once you hit level 32, you can head a bit north from the Yetis. This will get you into Alterac Mountains. In Alterac Mountains you can kill the Syndicates. This you can do from 32 to 36. You can also kill the different lions, and this is also the same level range. Another great spot in Alterac Mountains is this location. These ogres you can kill from 33 to 37. The next location is for Alliance only. You can come here at level 33 and leave at level 37. This spot is so popular, and there will definitely be competition here. If that's the case, I recommend you to go to another location. The location you can go to as Alliance and Horde is Dustwallow Marsh. Here you can start farming at level 34 and all the way up to level 40. You can find a lot of murlocs on the shore or on the small islands, but you can also find them in the forest right next to the shore. Level 40 will have a huge impact on your AoE farming. At level 40 you can get Ice Barrier at the bottom of the Frost Tree. This will give you an Absorb Shield for 1 minute. At the same time you also get Mount, and Mount will make it so much easier for you to pull the monsters. Your talent tree from level 41 to 50 will look like this. When you're level 40 or higher, always use Ice Barrier before you pull. Then you mount up and you start pulling. As you see, the Ice Barrier will absorb a lot of the damage, pretty much enough for me to stack the monsters and use my Frost Nova. Then I run away and I start doing my Blizzard. At level 40 you can go to Swamp of Sorrows. At this location you will find a lot of murlocs, and these you can farm all the way up to 45. If this spot is a bit too difficult, then you could also AoE farm all the spiders right next to. You can find these in the forest. A second option would be to go to Tanaris. At level 40 and all the way up to 44 you can kill the Waste Wonders. At level 43 you should head more to the east in Tanaris and kill the pirates. This you can do from 43 and all the way up to 50. There's also a lot of quests for this area. Those quests you can pick up at this location. From level 50 and all the way up to 60, your talents should look like this. At level 50, you should travel to Western Plaguelands. At this location, you can farm all the way up to 54. At level 52, you could also swap to another farm. This you can find right here. And once you hit level 56, you can head even more north. Up here, you can farm all the way to max level. Just be careful about the elites patrolling. There is a lot of normal monsters, and these will easily take you to level 60. Next up is some tips and tricks for when you level up your mage. At level 24, you will pick the talent Cold Snap. This resets the cooldown of all your frost spells. So let's say you're going in and you try to Frost Nova, but a target resists. Then you could easily use Cold Snap and recast your Frost Nova. Now there's a higher chance that all of them will be rooted. Next up is how I do my pulling at low level. I sheep a target that prevents me from reaching other monsters. Then I use a fireball to pull the target, and I might also use another fireball. Then I can use Wand or maybe a fire blast to pull another target. The reason why I stack on top of the sheep is because the moment the sheep breaks, all of the targets will be stacked and I can then do my Frost Nova. When I level as a mage, I always try to go for items called of the Eagle. These items is a huge boost for when you have to do your AoE farming. The intellect will make you not go out of mana when you kill targets, and the stamina will help you not die when you do the pull. So if you struggle to do your AoE pulls, then you might have to go to auction house and buy some of these items. At level 40, you should always make sure to use Ice Barrier, and always have your Arcane Intellect and your armor active at all time. If you did a mistake with your pull, then you could always try to kite around with Cone of Cold. Then you just wait for a Frost Nova, and when that's ready, you get some distance and then you do your Blizzard. The first Blizzard you do could always be at rank 1. This allows you to get the slow effect, so let's say someone didn't get slowed, then you didn't use a full rank and not do any damage. And if you do this mistake, then you might also run out of mana in no time, and then you have to reset the fight. Next up is how I place a second Blizzard. The first one is placed on top of the monsters. I don't move my mouse, but I open up a second Blizzard. This allows me to see how far they have moved in the first one. The moment the monsters get close to you, you could go a bit to the left or to the right. This allows you to stack the monsters even better before your Frost Nova. Now when you do your next Blizzard, all of them is gonna be stacked way better compared to the first pull. Next up is LeeWay and how it works. As you see here, I strafe, the monsters and me is moving, and that allows the monsters to hit me from far distance. One way you can avoid the LeeWay is by backpedaling. Me and the monsters is both in motion. If I was strafing here, they would hit me, but because I backpedal, they can't. Now I can also cast a Frost Nova, and because they get rooted, then the monsters is not able to move. This allows me to move close to them without getting hit by LeeWay. If you're high level and you struggle on mana, then you could always use a rank 1 Blizzard. Every time you use the Blizzard, there's a chance that you get a clear cast proc. When you have this proc, your next spell costs no mana, and then you can just use the max rank. Often I use my ice block to stack monsters, but sometimes you might also get a debuff. This debuff drains my mana and health over time. So this could be deadly when I try to do the pull, especially if I had a lot of debuff. Instead of getting drained like this, you should always use an ice block to remove the debuff, and then you can get back to the fight. If you wish to play as Frost all the way from level 10 to 60, so without respeccing when you get to level 22, then your talent tree should look like this. Alright, so that's about it for this mage guide. I hope you found some useful information that will make it easier for you to start leveling. As always, thank you for watching and have an amazing day. Peace.